Welcome. What if one ordinary-looking Lincoln wheat cent could reveal an incredible story of American history and the tiny details that collectors carefully search for today? Stay with us as we uncover what makes certain examples stand out from the rest and why they're so fascinating to serious numismatists. First, coin. Few American coins seem as ordinary at first glance as the 1945 Lincoln wheat cent. Yet that modest copper coin can tell a remarkable story about the closing chapter of World War II and the millions of hands through which it quietly passed. While countless examples remain common in worn condition, others have become prized collectibles because of their exceptional preservation, unusual striking characteristics, or rare production mistakes. As this story unfolds, you'll discover what authenticated examples have brought at auction, why some pieces command dramatically higher prices than others, and how experienced collectors separate truly desirable coins from the billions that remain ordinary. By the time the 1945 Lincoln cent entered circulation, the United States was approaching the end of one of the most significant conflicts in modern history. American factories that had spent years producing military equipment were beginning to prepare for a peacetime economy, and everyday commerce depended heavily on low-denomination coins. The previous few years had already left a lasting mark on Lincoln cents. In 1943, copper shortages led to the famous zinc-coated steel cents, while 1944 marked the return to a bronze alloy produced largely from recycled wartime shell casings. The 1945 issue continued that tradition, making it not only a circulating coin, but also a lasting reminder of America's wartime industrial effort. Every cent represented a small but meaningful piece of a nation transitioning from global conflict toward economic recovery. 1945 Lincoln wheat cent was struck at 3 United States mint facilities. Philadelphia produced coins without a mint mark, Denver added the familiar D beneath the date, and San Francisco identified its production with an S combined. The 3 mints produced well over a billion examples, ensuring that the coin became a familiar sight in everyday transactions. Despite those enormous production figures, collectors understand that mintage alone never determines rarity. Many coins entered circulation immediately and experienced decades of wear, scratches, environmental damage, and improper storage. As a result, sharply struck examples with original mint luster are considerably scarcer than raw production numbers might suggest. This distinction between surviving quality and original quantity forms the foundation of modern collector value. The design itself remains one of the most recognizable in American numismatic history. Victor David Brenner created the obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. His dignified profile faces right, accompanied by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. The reverse features 2 graceful wheat ears surrounding the denomination, 1 cent, and the national inscription, United States of America, with the motto EPLUBUSUNUM above. The coin measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, weighs approximately 3.11 grams, and consists of a bronze alloy primarily made of copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc. Its plain edge and durable metallic composition allowed these cents to circulate for decades, although countless examples gradually lost their original red brilliance through handling and oxidation. Collectors evaluating a 1945 wheat cent look far beyond the date alone. Condition is often the single most important factor influencing value. A heavily worn coin showing flattened wheat lines, faded lettering, and dark surfaces may carry only modest collector interest, while an uncirculated example displaying crisp details and vibrant original mint color becomes significantly more desirable. Professional grading services assign standardized grades ranging from heavily circulated examples through mint state classifications such as MS63, MS65, and even higher. Equally important are the recognized color designations of brown, red-brown, and red. A fully original red specimen retains much of its fiery copper appearance from the day it left the mint, and often commands a substantial premium over an otherwise identical brown example, because original surfaces become increasingly scarce as decades pass. Market values illustrate just how dramatically condition affects desirability. A pleasing certified mint state example with attractive original surfaces may trade in the neighborhood of $1,200 to $1,800, depending on the issuing mint, eye appeal, and current collector demand. Coins with exceptionally clean surfaces, stronger strikes, and premium red color have realized between approximately $2,400 and $3,700 in competitive auctions when certified by respected grading companies. At the very top of the market, extraordinary registry quality coins with elite grades have achieved auction prices far beyond those figures, but such results belong only to authenticated examples possessing exceptional preservation or other remarkable qualities. These extraordinary sales should never be viewed as representative of every 1945 wheat cent, since authentication, grading, rarity, and collector competition ultimately determine individual market value. Another area that captures tremendous collector interest involves mint eras and die varieties. Although no widely recognized major variety defines the entire 1945 issue in the same way as certain famous doubled dies from other years, specialists carefully examine these cents for repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, lamination errors, and dramatic die breaks. Genuine mint-made errors are created during the manufacturing process rather than through post-mint damage, making proper identification essential. A legitimate off-center strike retaining a full visible date or a dramatic struck-through error can attract significant bidding from specialists, particularly when professionally authenticated. Conversely, damage caused after circulation, including hammer marks, corrosion, filing, or altered surfaces, rarely adds value and often reduces collector appeal substantially. Authentication has become increasingly important because counterfeiters sometimes target popular wheat cents, especially dates associated with valuable varieties. Experienced numismatists begin by verifying the coin's weight, diameter, composition, magnetic response, edge characteristics, and overall design details. They compare lettering style, mint mark placement, and microscopic diagnostics with known genuine examples. Many deceptive alterations involve adding or modifying mint marks in an attempt to imitate scarcer issues, while others artificially recolor cleaned coins to resemble original mint red surfaces. Professional certification from leading third-party grading companies provides confidence for both buyers and sellers by confirming authenticity and assigning an impartial grade. Although certification involves additional cost, it is often worthwhile for higher quality examples whose value depends heavily upon trusted authentication. Preserving a genuine 1945 Lincoln wheat cent requires patience and restraint rather than aggressive cleaning. One of the quickest ways to destroy collector value is attempting to polish or chemically brighten the surfaces in hopes of making the coin appear newer. Such treatments permanently alter the original finish, leaving obvious evidence under magnification that experienced collectors immediately recognize. Instead, coins should be handled only by their edges and stored in inert holders designed specifically for long-term numismatic preservation. Stable temperature, low humidity, and protection from airborne contaminants help slow further oxidation. Whether stored in archival quality flips, hard plastic capsules, or certified holders, proper preservation ensures that future generations can study and appreciate the coin in its most original state. More than 80 years after its release, the 1945 Lincoln wheat cent continues to bridge American history and modern collecting in a way few everyday objects can achieve. It represents the conclusion of a wartime chapter, the endurance of one of the nation's most beloved coin designs, and the enduring excitement of searching ordinary pocket change for something extraordinary. While billions were struck, only a tiny percentage survive with the originality, quality, and authentication necessary to command premium prices. That enduring combination of history, preservation, rarity, and collector demand explains why one example may remain an inexpensive keepsake, while another becomes a fiercely contested auction piece. Every authenticated coin must ultimately be judged on its own merits, reminding collectors that careful examination, accurate grading, and verified authenticity remain the true keys to understanding the lasting value of the 1945 Lincoln wheat cent. Next coin. At first glance, the 1946 Lincoln wheat cent appears to be nothing more than an ordinary copper coin that quietly circulated through post-war America. Yet seasoned collectors know that this humble cent has earned a respected place in the hobby for reasons that are not immediately obvious. Its importance is tied not only to the remarkable period in which it was struck, but also to the surprising scarcity of truly exceptional examples that have survived untouched. As this story unfolds, you'll discover why certain authenticated 1946 cents have become highly desirable, what characteristics separate ordinary pieces from remarkable survivors, and what verified examples have brought in today's collector market. The year 1946 marked a dramatic turning point in American history. World War II had ended only months earlier, and millions of service members were returning home to begin civilian life. Factories that had spent years producing tanks, aircraft, and ammunition shifted back to manufacturing automobiles, household appliances, and consumer goods. The United States economy entered an era of rapid transformation as wartime rationing disappeared and demand for everyday products surged. Through all of these changes, the Lincoln cent remained the nation's most familiar coin, moving from banks to grocery stores, factories, movie theaters, and neighborhood businesses. Every 1946 cent represented a tiny but essential part of the expanding American economy during one of the country's most optimistic periods of rebuilding and growth. Production took place at 3 United States mint facilities. Philadelphia struck coins without a mint mark, while Denver used the D mint mark, and San Francisco identified its production with the S. Combined output exceeded 1 billion coins, making the issue appear common at first glance. Yet experienced numismatists rarely judge a coin solely by its mintage. Most of these cents entered immediate circulation, where years of commerce gradually wore away their sharp details and original mint brilliance. Countless examples were cleaned, damaged, corroded, or spent decades stored under unfavorable conditions. As a result, pristine survivors represent only a tiny fraction of the original production, creating a significant difference between how many coins were struck and how many remain desirable to advanced collectors today. The physical specifications remained consistent with the bronze Lincoln cents introduced after the wartime steel cent experiment. Each coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and features a plain edge. The alloy consists primarily of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, producing the warm reddish color that collectors immediately recognize. Victor David Brenner's enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln appears on the obverse alongside the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. The reverse displays 2 stylized wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America, while EPLURBUSUNUM arches above. The wheat designs symbolized American agriculture and prosperity, making it an especially fitting image for a nation preparing to enter a period of economic expansion after years of global conflict. As collectors examine a 1946 Lincoln wheat cent, they focus on details that casual observers often overlook. Strike quality can vary noticeably from one specimen to another, with some coins displaying bold wheat kernels, crisp lettering, and sharply defined hair above Lincoln's ear, while others exhibit softer details caused by worn dies or production variations. Original mint luster is another critical characteristic. Freshly struck bronze cents possess a distinctive cartwheel effect that rotates across the surface under proper lighting. Decades of circulation gradually diminish that brilliance, making fully lustrous mint state examples increasingly scarce. Eye appeal becomes equally important because attractive surfaces, free of distracting marks, consistently generate stronger collector demand than technically similar coins with poor visual presentation. Professional grading transforms these observations into standardized classifications that influence market value. Coins showing extensive wear typically remain affordable collectibles, but those certified in higher mint state grades become increasingly difficult to locate. Specialists also classify copper cents by color, assigning brown, or red designations depending on the amount of original mint color that survives. An authenticated mint state red coin can be dramatically more desirable than a brown example of identical technical grade, because preserving untouched copper surfaces for decades is extraordinarily challenging. Certification by respected third-party grading services gives buyers greater confidence that the coin is genuine, accurately graded, and free from undisclosed alterations that could affect long-term value. Those grading distinctions become especially meaningful when examining market prices. An authenticated mint state example with pleasing luster and attractive surfaces may bring approximately $1,350 to $1,950, depending on its certification, eye appeal, and collector interest at the time of sale. Higher-grade red examples with exceptional preservation have realized prices in the neighborhood of $2,600 to $3,850 during competitive auctions. Beyond those levels, registry-quality coins representing the absolute finest known have achieved substantially stronger auction results. But those remarkable prices belong only to authenticated examples possessing extraordinary quality or exceptional rarity within the surviving population. No ordinary circulated 1946 cent should be expected to reach those figures simply because it shares the same date. While the 1946 Lincoln wheat cent is not associated with a single famous major variety comparable to some other wheat cents, specialists remain attentive to legitimate mint errors and minor die varieties. Collectors carefully inspect examples for repunched mint marks on branch mint issues, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, lamination defects, die cracks, retained cuds, and struck-through errors that occurred during the minting process. These authentic production mistakes can significantly increase collector interest when they are dramatic, visually appealing, and professionally authenticated. However, post-mint damage such as scratches, environmental corrosion, harsh cleaning, or intentional alterations should never be mistaken for genuine mint errors. Careful examination and expert verification remain essential before assigning additional value to any unusual-looking coin. Authentication has become increasingly important as demand for quality wheat cents continues to grow. Counterfeiters sometimes alter mint marks, recolor cleaned coins, or manufacture deceptive replicas intended to resemble valuable certified examples. Knowledgeable collectors compare the coin's weight, diameter, metallic composition, lettering style, surface texture, and mint mark placement with verified genuine specimens. Magnification often reveals evidence of artificial alterations that may not be visible to the naked eye. For higher-grade pieces with meaningful collector value, submission to a respected third-party grading service provides both authentication and professional encapsulation, helping preserve the coin while giving future buyers confidence in its originality and condition. Proper storage in inert holders, protection from humidity, and avoiding unnecessary handling are equally important for maintaining long-term quality. More than 7 decades after it entered circulation, the 1946 Lincoln wheat cent continues to captivate collectors because it represents far more than a simple 1-cent coin. It reflects America's transition from war to peace, preserves one of the nation's most beloved coin designs, and demonstrates how survival, originality, and preservation ultimately shape numismatic value. Although billions were produced, only a comparatively small number remain in the exceptional condition demanded by advanced collectors. Verified auction results consistently show that authentication, grading, eye appeal, rarity, and current collector demand determine whether a particular coin becomes a modest historical keepsake or an impressive numismatic treasure. That enduring combination of history, craftsmanship, and careful preservation ensures that the 1946 Lincoln wheat cent remains an important and highly respected chapter in the story of American coinage.